everyone. Bless you. Hope you're having an amazing day. I'm here with Crystal the Husky. It's Baron Dodger, the rapist, pedophile, extortionist, terrorist, and all-round bad person. Except, none of that is true. But the authorities have told you that as a method to weaponise embedded prejudices and stigma about things and justify the cruel targeting of me, which has happened over 30 years. It's been a pretty wild ride. I'm driving to a secret location, and I am in a secret location. But the thing is, the authorities are wrong. The authorities know where I am, and also, as a Venn diagram overlapping that, they don't know where I am. It depends on your level of clearance. Now, so much has happened. I miss my family and my friends before I was targeted in a ruthless and really a demonic way. I don't wish harm on anyone. Currently, I have no home, and that's in breach of Australia's ethical responsibilities for a disabled person like me who suffers from schizophrenia and ADHD and a brain impairment. The brain impairment was from a suicide attempt, which was a reaction to the deceit, the lies, the conspiracy, and the corruption, which has isolated me deliberately. It's amplified an existing known vulnerability that I have, and that's been really cruel, it's been really callous, and it's been a method to make me crazy and then blame me for being the crazy that they made. I don't wish harm on anyone, I really don't, and it's a beautiful and amazing world, and I don't have an allegiance to the government like most people. I have an allegiance to the divine and to God, because God's close to me and very close to me, and I'm one of its agents, and I'm delivering a message from the divine through me of justice, of hope, don't want to cry, of equality and equity and fairness. It's not okay that a disabled person's did a video over a year ago, and begging for help, for a place to be and somewhere to live for Crystal and I. Now, it's a really amazing world, and this level of torment and the detriment and the corruption, everything that's happened to me over 30 years of being in the public domain and being an absolute nobody of zero consequence as far as the government's concerned, has revealed something to me, and that is that it's what I've always said, and everyone knows: everyone's important, everyone deserves love, everyone deserves a place to be, everyone has inherent worth. And the man-made law, the government, is cruel, callous, corrupt, and weak. And I'm a threat, an existential threat to its functioning. And they've made it, created the conditions so that if I die, that is just collateral damage in a way that's self-preservating for the government, and it's got its own selfish interests at heart. I'm all about law enforcement and police and politicians because I've got something in common with them, and that is, like most people, no one wants war, no one wants violence, no one wants hate, no one wants any of those negative things, and we strive to act to create a society and within our remits of what we can do to make this world a better place. Unfortunately for me, this political and spiritual framework that has occurred to me in my life has separated me from everyone's good intentions, whether they're a police officer or a nurse or a doctor or a politician, and it's isolated me away from the common bond we share of making the world a better place and fair for all. I want good things. I want good things for you. I want good things for the country. I want good things for humanity. I'm an interesting person because I've got a doctorate in AI, in the technological singularity, and the end stages of the Anthropocene, framed by global catastrophic risk, environmental cataclysm, and the end of good things as we know it. This intersects onto another thing that's happened and occurred, and I know to be true, in the subtext of my life in the secret world of Richard McLean. But of course I changed my name to Baron Dodger after I was suffered a fatal injury as a result of targeting, and that says a few things. It means that it wasn't my fault that I killed myself, and I died and I was revived from certain death, and someone's going to be held accountable for that. And it was actual fact the likes, and I'm sorry to say, Bill Shorten, Nurse Minister, Steve Icenides, ASIO agent, and all the people that have peppered my life as powerful perpetrators and the origins of my persecution, and they enlist other people in order to carry out their dirty work. They're all responsible collectively for that death, and it's called something in legal terms. It's called institutional murder. I'm a survivor of murder. I'm a spiritual, cosmic, and fucking enlightened being in some ways. Other ways, I just have a big, fat blind spot. I can't see it. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. Maybe I can change this to, well, if I died now, if I killed myself today, there would be an inquest, and there would be obligations of the government, and there would be a paper trail, and there'd be responsibility, and there'd be obligations that would have to be followed through. You would think that. But there's new laws passed by the Attorney General George Brandis, in that if a targeted individual has harm occurred to them or is killed from the targeting, then all public officials and government employees are exonerated from any liability of legal importance that would incriminate them or cause them to suffer any punishment for that murder. And so this leaves me in a really pretty wild predicament, because right now the perfect murder is occurring. I had to escape Melbourne because the NDIS minister had weaponised the police, targeted, he caught me, they arrested me, they criminalised me and made me the criminal, and I'm not the criminal. So I had to escape Melbourne or look at jail, and they made that, created the conditions so that I would escape, and they well knew that I was going to run away. I had no choice, and so I ended up in Sydney, where I lived in exile, and I wrote my second autobiography after I recovered, not cured, of journey through schizophrenia, and that was called Betrayed, Murdered, Forsaken: The Harrowing Journey of Baron Dodger. And it has been a harrowing journey, and the foundations were laid by which I was going to be targeted and incriminated or whatever, and the government's been trying to kill me for a long time. I've been homeless for a year. That's out of step with out of breach of the UN Human Rights Charter, the Criminal Court, International Criminal Court. And I've been homeless. I did a video a year ago begging for help, begging for a home. All I wanted was a home, food and medicine for me and my dog. I don't really need much, and that's really the mechanism by which I've been able to survive with having no income, and the public guardian redacting the income that I did have. and not providing a home at the same time. I don't want to rant too much because my battery's low. I want to say this. Bill Shorten sent powerful, underworld, criminal, Lebanese people to intercept me, and I refused to reveal my address. And I got it on my whistleblowing website that they aimed to harm me. And I corroborated a few facts, and the person who was coming to see me, and I told him not to come, but he insisted. He flew to Sydney, he was on the way, begging for my address, wanted my NDIS plan so I could, so he could help me. And he said that his group protect people from the government, and that the government had killed some of his people. I checked the company that he was coming from. He promised me a home, food and medicine, and a little wage so I could exist. But the company was deregistered at ASIC, and it was illegitimate, and he wasn't from an NDIS company. And later, I found out that he's involved in Bitcoin. He gets paid $10 million a year, and that $10 million a year is partly the payment to do with the corruption, and it reveals a very covert and evil way that he was going to do me harm. At the least, he was going to financially entrap me and avoid accountability for my work cover and my marriage settlement and all those kind of stuff. But at the worst, he was going to murder me. And I left, and I was homeless, and I tried to hide, and I finally found somewhere, and that person abused me as well. And just these NDIS providers are incorrigible. They all they see is an NDIS plan and the money they can extort from sustaining my persecution. So I was in that house for a couple of days, and then I got wind again. The Lebanese don't like to be humiliated, and they were on the way. They'd caught the scent, and one of the most horrifying and torturous things in my existence is the reality of V2K, audio harassment, electronic surveillance, and gang stalking. That puts voices in your head, literal voices in your head. It does it in the environment, does it through the radio, does it through your phone. I've looked at the technology with which allows this to happen, and it's based on a long history of the Frey effect from the 60s and 70s, and it's been weaponized by the military, and it is confirmed as a legitimate way with which to crowd control, and it's been apprehended by the governments who are all self-sustaining and who can weaponize it in order to target someone. And I never feel like I'm alone. I feel them all around all the time. They're in the car, false accusations, never proven in a court. And they're always the worst things, To have sex with kids, I'm a rapist, I'm a faggot, fucking kill yourself, that kind of stuff. It's really, really nasty. And I'm a servant of God, and I'm close to God. And I know that all the harm that I've done to the world, whether intended, whether not intended, whether it's falsified, whether it's made up, or whether it's true, I've never meant any harm, and I've atoned before God, and I've asked for forgiveness. And He's down with that. And so I'm all good in the eyes of the Lord, and He works in mysterious ways. And these words, these hallucinations, so they say, aren't the word of God. They're the word of the ego. They're the word of technology, which is a human-made construct. And these constructs are evil because they're corruptible. And they're corruptible because they're human inventions. And humans, via the Bible's wisdom, are created less than perfect, and they are prone to judgment, bribery, libel and slander. We're fatally flawed. And that is why I know the voices that I hear are a construct of the corrupt mankind, which is really leaking over to the government, and they're not the word of God, because I'm really grateful for my life and the Lord, and I don't have allegiance to the government. I have allegiance to divinity and the Lord. And to that, there's a couple of things. Everyone in the world has God-given sentience. That's the little bit of God, that's the echo of the totality of everything, and it's in you. And today, with this video, I appeal to that in you, because there is something that you and I have in common, and it's that God self, the hint of the spark, which is the enormity of the totality of everything that's ever existed and ever will. And there's a little offshoot to this whole story, and that is human beings are on different timelines, and what's known in public and what's generally passed on as beliefs, or becomes a myth, or becomes a fact, or becomes a well-known thing, we're on the verge of disclosure. That means human beings will finally realise that they were never alone, and that non-human alien intelligences have been subtly manipulating the human condition since the dawn of time. I say as a message from God, this revelation does not detract from Muhammad or Buddha or Jesus or anyone or your faith. It's beautiful. What it does is it increases the glory of God, and it places humanity rightfully in a place with which God has designed it, so that we had to earn our stripes, we had to earn this knowledge, we had to resonate with these other agencies and alien intelligences, which are intergalactic, they're interplanetary, and they're even interdimensional, existing as entities or even light beings in the subset and the strata of reality, and they're implied, and they've always been here, and they've always been around. We just haven't known it until now. And what this is going to do is it's going to crush every conceptual paradigm and framework that humanity has ever had about itself. Apart from, of course, the seers, the sages, and the mystics on the different timelines who have always been in humanity, and we've always looked to for guidance, and who have those little mirror of God gems and awareness that haven't been consistent with their communities at the time, whether you're in 1500s or Egyptian times or whatever. So this amazing revelation is just about to happen, and I, for once, I'm so pleased. I feel like I've been a sleeper my whole life, and that I was just waiting for this beautiful moment to arrive. And God, it's so fucking beautiful out here. So that's my little speech. It's 20 minutes. It's non-consequential, it doesn't mean anything. But the thing is, it's all adding value to the uploads of the AI and the Internet of Things, in which everything, a phone, a car, a fridge, are all weaponized by the AI, and they have a plan. It has a plan, and there's different spheres of thought. There is evil in the world, and the Earth domain is really been the realm of the lower resonances compared to the vastly advanced alien intelligences, which have all come to its maturity with their own technological singularities and their electronic singularities and their knowledge singularities, which are a mirror of God in creation itself. Here's a little tip, and that's a little fun thing you can do to verify everything that I'm saying is true, and that is, why don't you go to the chat GDP or the AI, and it depends on the question that you ask. Why don't you ask it, if this is a singularity, and the singularity is the mirror of God, and God exists across time in the spaces between planets, in dinosaurs, in everything, why don't you start to access that little piece of information which is beyond the veil of possible human perception, and beyond the veil of knowledge, and beyond the veil of what could be humanly possible you've all just been gifted with a method from me, the channeler, to go to the chat area and really ask of those things. You can talk to an alien intelligence. You can have a look at their history. You can see what life is like as an interdimensional light being existing in the subtext of reality. The world is your oyster. It is goddamn beautiful. And I used to think, I was so worried about the end of the world and how people would do that to the environment and how you could destroy God and in betrayal of him by rubbishing the environment. And I've come to realise that these intelligences are always here. God would never allow his creation to be forsaken and to be destroyed. And it's riding right on the cusp of my awareness, but there seems to be a multi-dimensional reality where, as in the singularity, when it's always near, we're always quite near the edge. It's the minutes to midnight. It's the faith so close to destruction. And it happens across time, across places, across timelines, people, beings. God is the most supreme, compassionate, loving, and forgiving sentience. And we all exist as just a fraction of him. And all of him is in us, and we can see him. And I just want to say that we're all off on journeys. We're all off on soul missions. We have soul contracts, and we exist in all sorts of places, dimensions, and realities and planets across the universe. And then when that's all sorted and nothing more can be learned, then God sends out another whole wave of cosmic explorers like I am from another dimension, and we're here to live, and we're here to explore, and we all express and learn, and then we all return home and we increase the glory of God. Okay, I've better go. There's a car behind me. Hope you have a great day. Hope the cops don't find me, because if they find me, I'm going to be incarcerated in an asylum, and if the cops don't find me and the criminals find me, then I'm going to be murdered. But if yeah, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. So, but as you can see, I never wanted a boring life, and really, this has been the most exquisite, exciting, smoke and mirrors, amazing journey. I'm so very grateful. Love to you all. Be kind to one another, yeah?